and just enjoyment to watch interesting insects. Interesting insects which have very small size, extremely small size, but we are crawling, we are jumping, we are flying here in petri dish. We are watching in petri dish under the very high magnification of microscope with use of computer, which is a little bit freezing the movement. But all these insects are crawling around and they are very small. These are tiny parasitoids, tiny parasitic wasps of a genus Trichogramma. They are belonging to family Trichogrammatidae. They are belonging to genus Trichogramma. You can watch here males and females. In the central part, the male is mating with female, and others they are crawling very fast because it's a very strong light under the microscope. And this is process of the emergence, because this is mass emergence of them from eggs of rain moths. Rain moth is Cytotrochocerarella. You can see in the right upper angle eggs of Cytotrochocerarella, rain moth. We have antennae, we have legs, male genitalia, female genitalia, everything the same as other representatives of order Hymenoptera have. They are very tiny despite it. They have all organs which belong to the order Hymenoptera. They are small parasitic wasps. What do they parasitize? They are not hunting wasps. They are not predaceous wasps. They are parasitic wasps. They are called parasitoids. They are called egg parasitoids. I am showing you them more or less different places. Some of them were just sitting on a glass, and this is view under the microscope, view petri dish with these tiny creatures. I can increase magnification at least maybe 2 times, so we can increase magnification. You can try to take a better focus, but it's quite difficult because most of these tiny insects were crawling and moving very quickly. There are some males and females. We have precise differences, quite easy to recognize them, but only under the microscope, because original size is just 0.5 millimeter. You cannot understand male or female. Here, if you are careful, you can recognize some individuals with very short antennae, with club and very long antennae, with seta, long antennae belonging to males and short antennae to females. They are crawling here and they have wings. Sometimes they don't have wings because they just hatched from eggs. As I said, they are egg parasitoids. They are parasitizing eggs of butterflies, night moths, some flies, some beetles, and some other orders of insects as well. But in majority, they are used for biological control of agricultural pests, in agriculture, in forestry, against some pests, against some dangerous agricultural lepidopterous pests, such as corn moth, for instance, on corn. And this species is used also against corn moth actually in summertime, because now it's a late autumn. This is late October. We don't find these parasitoids outside because it's cold. Nighttime about +5 and daytime +12 Celsius degrees centigrade. This is laboratory culture of small parasitic wasps of genus Trichogramma. Down where you can see small female with short antennae. In the center part also 2 females that do not move. And from time to time it's possible to recognize some mating individuals. Long antennae belonging to female and males. In males they are just attacking females, so they are mating. Sometimes they are crawling here together. We're moving a little bit slowly here because computer is freezing a little bit, cannot transmit the picture of this insect immediately from under the microscope to computer. That's why picture is a little bit freezing. But it's normal because it's quite difficult to take a very precise picture of these tiny insects because it needs to take focus upper side and down side, and size of them is very small. As I said, 0.5 millimeter. I can decrease a little bit magnification so you can see many of them. Usually if I can show them just in a petri dish, in a glass tube, they're extremely tiny. 0.5 millimeter, this is a dot in a book, half of black dot in a book. So this is the size of these insects, 0.5 millimeter. They are not the smallest, but they are some of the smallest. Smallest egg parasitoids, these are parasitoids of thrips, belonging to genus Megaphragma, same family Trichogramma. But Trichogramma is also very tiny. These tiny insects are breeding in Ukraine in laboratories for application against agricultural pests. Hello Stas, hello some people who is joining us. This is direct stream from laboratory with insects which are just living now in late October. This is not a recorded model, this is online, on air. So you can write your questions, I can try to answer you. I cannot type because I keep telephone, smartphone in my hands, and I also try to manipulate with microscope. On the left side you can see some rounds, like grains. These are not grains, these are eggs of rain moth, Citatroga cerarella. In the central part you can see females, 2 females. We just stopped a little. When we are crowding very quickly, we cannot take photo because this is not slow-mo, this is just online translation, immediately from under the microscope directly to you. Best greetings to people who is joining us. Stas, why did you write here just in Japanese? Quite funny. Or in Chinese, in Japanese, in katakana, katakana and kanji. So some greetings, I hope so. If these are greetings, so it's good. It's possible to collect these insects in natural conditions, but these insects were bred in laboratory. In laboratory on grain moth eggs. So they just hatching. And biological laboratories in Ukraine are breeding them during springtime and summertime, and setting them for release, for inundative release in agricultural crops against pests in agriculture, such as corn moth or maize moth. Loxostega stichticalis, family Pyralidae, the most important pest on maize in Ukraine. And to receive organic production in organic agriculture, for some farmers are using natural biological control. For biological control, they can use microorganisms against some fungi, and we can also use biological control of pests, such as maize moth, using egg parasitoid Trichogramma. Now in the central part we can see 2 small female and male mating. All together I can try to make bigger magnification. No, they just escaped. Mating process can be very short time, just few seconds. Not very quick, not very long time. Because here too strong competition, many males, many females. So they're just disturbing each other. They're crowding in different directions because of light. They're searching for host eggs. I cannot give them host eggs because in my laboratory I do not have culture of moths. This material I received from separate agricultural laboratory, which is sending this material for me for study and for identification. To identify species name of this tiny Trichogramma. Because to identify these insects, it's necessary to make very small microscopic slides on glasses and take very big magnification under the microscope to watch details of morphology. Details of morphology means details of male genitalia, details of antennae, details of wings. Again, in the central part you can see the left part, this is a female, in the right part this is a male. Two mating individuals all together, just now we're just crowning around. Some males in the central part with long antennae with seta, with long setation on antennae. And the most important morphological feature for identification, this is a male genitalia of Trichogramma, which can be visible only under the microscope, under the magnification 1000 times, much bigger than now at the present moment. So I can watch male genitalia under the microscope on the full screen. So magnification should be at least 1000 times. So, but for that I can use another different microscope. This microscope is just for sorting, and this microscope is used for detailed pictures of big insects. Big insects, it means insects of a size about 1 millimeter. And not for video. This is just my invention. Try to take some video for educational purpose. Because not everybody has seen Trichogramma online and Trichogramma under the big magnification. As I said, these are very tiny parasitoids, half of millimeter. Some farmers say very tiny flies, because they cannot see it. And they are really very tiny. You see in the center, this is a male, sometimes with shorter wings, because the wings have not been open, so they didn't develop sometimes. They're developing, they are opening slowly. What's happening? Just a break. Just was frozen. Screen was. Now this is my mouse. I need to move a little bit screen because it became dark. In the central part, this is a female is sitting. Just can try to take a bigger magnification. I need to move petri dish to the central part. And male just nearby on the right side. Come on, come on, come on. And watch. Here, up where this is a male, down there this is a female. I can use focus measurement to see focus up and down. There is this little bit dirty glass because of scales of moths, and under high magnification difficult to stop some specimens because they are crowding very fast. I can make a little bit better focus, but all insects crowding very fast. But you can recognize that this is central. In center, this is a female with rounded short antennae. And under the microscope visible also ovipositor, female genitalia. So it's better to decrease magnification to see larger screen with more individuals. So these are funny individuals like running around. Because here in a small glass there are many of these tiny parasitoids, maybe about 10,000 or 50,000 just in one small glass of volume maybe 2 centimeters. Because parasitoids very tiny, egg parasitoids parasitized eggs of grain moth in laboratory. They are breeding in laboratory just to make a stock of infested eggs. This stock of eggs is kept in a refrigerator for short time, for winter and springtime, and after that this stock can be used for breeding again in the beginning of summer to receive fresh eggs, which can be used for trade, to be sold for farmers, for using in biological control of agricultural pests on some agricultural crops as a maize, in some gardens, some orchards, against pests of gardens, orchards, and especially in agricultural fields or maize, in the cornfield. You see, this is central. In central you can see 2 small females, 1 female bigger, 1 smaller, and the smaller female has reduced wings. They didn't hatch correctly. And 1 male is trying to mate. It's quite possible to collect these insects in natural conditions, as I said, because if you are living in temperate region, you can collect it in the summertime, springtime, collecting egg masses, especially egg masses of different moths, butterflies, on corn of different, on bark of different trees, for instance. There are some butterflies, family Torturicidae, laying eggs in a massive group, so they're quite well visible. But these tiny parasitoids, they have special trophical relations with different families of butterflies and moths and beetles, so they're specialized on different hosts. More hosts you can check, more species it's possible to collect. For some hosts, for some butterflies, for some moths, for some beetles, such as Cassidida beetles, parasitism has not been studied, so it's possible to collect eggs, it's possible to breed them in captivity, to rear insects, parasitoids from eggs in captivity in glass tubes, and then to breed them a little bit more larger number on given eggs. Now we are watching Trichogramma egg parasitoids, which are crowding in a petri dish and moving very quickly because of strong light of a microscope. When you collect parasitoids from natural hosts, it's quite possible to collect some new species for science, which have not been studied before, which have not been described before, but which can be discovered in distant areas or can be discovered in some areas which has not been studied, and it's possible to find new species for science and describe them in scientific journals. This is a precisely important part of taxonomical work, to check, to identify different species of parasitoids, to identify correct names, and if these names are not possible to identify, maybe some new species can be discovered either in tropics, not in tropics, in semi-tropical regions, or even in temperate regions as well. Because this parasitoid is very tiny, it needs some efforts to collect them. It needs some attention to find them. It needs very careful observations to find egg masses of different butterflies and moths, to breed them in glass tubes and plastic tubes, to fix them and to send them for the study to appropriate expert like me. If you can collect some egg parasitoids, you can save them dry, you can save them in alcohol, in 70% alcohol, ethanol, in different Appendorf tubes. And if you need identification, you can send this material to my laboratory in Kyiv, capital of Ukraine, for study, for investigation, for identification. Maybe this will be new species for your region, new species for your country, maybe new species for unstudied host in your region or country, and can be very valuable material for scientific publication in collaboration with you as very careful collector in this or that country, somewhere when this material can be studied in distant area where I don't have present time access, but you can collect it from time to time and fix it and send it for identification to Kyiv, capital of Ukraine, to Institute of Zoology, National Academy of Sciences, in Kyiv, Ukraine. So you can find my email under the description of this video if you're interested in collaboration, in study of these tiny egg parasitoids, and in the correct identification, what is very important. Practical part, fundamental part of taxonomical study. Important part of taxonomical study and important part of practical application of Trichogramma as biocontrol agent. If you didn't understand my English, so I can try to repeat some video in Russian, in Ukrainian as well, for wider use. Always you can find my email under the description of this video. And if you want to be sponsor of my channel, welcome to be sponsor, welcome to make donation on Patreon, or click on bottom with name sponsorship and use button like and button as well share and bell for notification of new videos from my laboratory, from my cultures of insects, from collection of different parasitic wasps and phytophagous insects as well. Thank you for coming. Subscribe, press like, write your comments, ask your questions in comments. See you soon on my channel, to be continued as soon as possible. And don't forget, stand with Ukraine, support Ukraine, Ukraine will win.